So here's an article from Judy Batista saying Jon Gruden's words cut against NFL's efforts to promote diversity. And then we've got another article here from NFL.com. And this is Grant Gordon. And this was October 12th. And hers was October 12th. So they're the same day. Where Aaron Rodgers says, no place in the game for opinions Jon Gruden expressed in emails. Okay? Where he says, I know that there's opinions similar to that, but I feel they're few and far between, which is probably accurate. I would like to elaborate on that. But in general, it depends on what he's talking about, the opinions. Because I think that the opinions that he expresses are not necessarily opinions. And I'm not Jon Gruden, and I'm no big Jon Gruden apologist. I would never have hired him. I think that he is basically a far, 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 far more popular Jeff Fisher. And for some reason, everybody hates Jeff Fisher as a coach, but they love Jon Gruden. But I view them as almost identical in their ability as a coach. But he says here, right, that we need to allow people to grow and change, but those opinions don't have a place in the game. So it's interesting. They don't have a place in the game, but boy, do we want to promote diversity. So do you want diversity, or do you want to say that no, we have to have a monoculture where everybody's ideas are the same? So we're going to go on with Judy Batista's attitude, but I think those two things are very telling in that they highlight the hypocrisy. They want diversity and they want everybody to be themselves. And then when some people are themselves and they don't like what that person is, then suddenly it's like, we got to get rid of them, to the point of actually removing him from the team's Ring of Honor. And I'll get to that in a bit. Jon Gruden's stunning and swift downfall Monday night, only hours after the New York Times reported that a trove of his emails in the NFL's possession included years of messages containing homophobic and misogynistic language, and the sharing of topless photos, one of which was of Washington football team cheerleaders, was well earned. His career is in tatters after his resignation from the Raiders 4 years into a 10-year contract, and he deserves no sympathy. No sympathy. Why? Because more than a decade ago, he wrote in an email that somebody had big lips and that he felt Roger Goodell shouldn't force Jeff Fisher's team at the time, the Rams, to draft a queer when referring to Michael Sam, I guess. He deserves no sympathy. I'm sorry. Again, I'm no apologist for Jon Gruden. I think he's totally overrated. But who cares? It's 10 years ago. And frankly, the NFL shouldn't be putting pressure on anybody to draft anybody. It just shouldn't happen. The teams should be able to draft exactly whoever they want without any pressure from the league's head office. So if there was pressure put down on him to draft Michael Sam because Michael Sam was openly gay, then that shouldn't happen. He's totally right in that assessment. Now, when we talk about things like the sharing of topless photos, some people would say, oh, that's no good. But here's my stance on that. If one of these cheerleaders sent Jon Gruden or somebody else a photo of themselves topless, that now becomes the property of that person. I don't know the law on this. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, if somebody sends me a photo, hey, look at this beautiful sunset, and then I share that photo with somebody else, I'm fine to do that because that person has sent it to me. They didn't have like a copyright notice on that photo. They just sent it to me. And then I can send it off to somebody else and say, look at this beautiful sunrise or sunset or whatever, flower, or look at this freaking cute little doggy, whatever it is. It's exactly the same if somebody's topless. Sorry, if you want to send topless pictures of yourself, expect they're going to get shared. Sorry, I have no sympathy for something like that. I don't hold that against Jon Gruden. I could care less. If you don't want topless photos of yourself out there, don't send topless photos. Misogynistic language. So what exactly is the misogynistic language? What exactly is the homophobic? Because I would want to know the homophobic. If it's the fact that he said queers, well, Last I checked, I've been told for years now that, we need to understand and care about the LGBTQ plus. And what does the Q stand for in that? Queer. So if he's using the terminology that they use, again, I could care less. I don't hold that against him. And even if he's using it as a derogatory, I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care. He's talking about something in private emails. What I care about is his actions. If he discriminates against somebody actively they are uh, because they're a woman or because they're gay, then you've got a case. Then you've got something where I'm going to be on your side. Because frankly, you shouldn't. If the guy's the best football player, put him on the field. But I'm guessing there wasn't really anything homophobic. He probably just said queers and said something else, right? They shouldn't be forced to draft somebody just because of that. But I think any NFL coach, if they see somebody out there and they get someone out there who is freaking awesome at football, suddenly you've got Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning says, "You know what? I'm gay." And then the teams go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you're out." Jon Gruden says we're not putting you on our football team. You freaking queer. Sorry, I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to say, "Hey, we'd love to have you come on in," because it's it's somebody who's going to help the team. Sorry. But don't kid yourself. Gruden is hardly the only person in the NFL who thinks and talks that way. You're right, because he's a human. That's how humans talk. Humans are crass. Humans are boorish. Humans freaking chat very casually, especially in private emails or amongst their friends. It doesn't necessarily mean that they think less of those people. I'm sorry. And I've said it before in videos. My bar for racism, my bar for anti-gay, my bar for anything, I'll say, quote, hateful, is very high. Because a lot of times people say things and they're either joking or they're casual or they're relaxed or maybe they're angry and they want to say something just to frickin' be a jerk to somebody. That's human behavior. That's reality. So my bar for those things is very high. Somebody has to actually demonstrate that they are actively against that whole group, not just a person, not just a few people of that group, but the entire group. And they think of them as less than everybody else, less than humans. Who thinks and talks that way? He's merely one of the most high profile and well compensated, certainly one of the dumbest for putting it all in writing. Okay, Judy Batista, open up all of your emails. Open up all your private personal emails. We're going to go through there and we're going to find out what exactly you had to say. Let's do it. Let's do it, Judy. Come on. Come on. You know you want to, right? You know you want to just let everybody in on those private emails and see what you've said in the past. Oh, wait. You probably don't. You probably don't. Because again, every human puts things down, especially to friends in private emails or private conversations, that they would not want getting out in public. How many times have you trash talked your mom, your grandma, your dad, people that you love dearly, and you've said vile things about them? Okay? Called them bitches or whores or whatever. And you wouldn't want that getting out because it would destroy the relationship. But you're fine. You're fine saying that this guy's one of the dumbest because he put it in writing. I love the Raiders and don't want to be a distraction, Gruden wrote in a statement. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, fans. I never meant to hurt anybody. That, of course, is laughable. He didn't mean to hurt anyone because he wasn't even thinking about anybody but himself, his frat-like circle of friends and their amusement. My, don't you sound petty and judgmental. Again, let's see what you've written in the past. Now, he wasn't thinking of anybody but himself. He was sending an email. That's it. The guy's just sending an email. What? He's supposed to, everything he writes down, he's supposed to say, how would this person feel if this got out? How would this person feel? What would happen here if this gets out? What would happen here if this gets out? That's not how reality works. That's not how humanity works. And when he says, I never meant to hurt anyone, I believe that. I believe that because he never wanted this stuff to get out. If he really wanted to hurt those people, he would have said it to their face or he would have said it directly to them in some way, shape, or form. But he didn't. He kept it behind closed doors or behind closed emails. And then he was who he was in public to facilitate the nice, easy running of the league and his life and their life and everything else. I don't think that he wanted to hurt anybody. I think a lot of that was probably blowing off steam or whatever the case might be. I'm sorry. I don't, I now haven't read all his emails. Maybe he's an amazingly hateful, terrible individual who wants nothing more than to cause strife and division and chaos and feelings of inferiority in other people. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Most striking is the Gruden's casual use of language that the league wants you to think is now verboten in its meeting rooms. His use of a racial trope, which was that some guy had a big nose or something. Let's find out. Oh, sorry, big lips. There you go. He has lips the size of Michelin tires. There you go. Now, do I think that's classy? Do I think that's good? No, not at all. Okay? I definitely don't. But if somebody said 10 years ago that I had big lips or big nose or my ears stuck out like Dumbo or something, would I give it a second thought? No, I'm sorry. Especially if at the time we were in any kind of fight or argument or something. And my understanding is that there might have been. I don't know if that's the case. I probably should have researched that a little more. But I believe that there was something where this guy here, the NFLPA, there you go. I heard there was like something about they were having an issue because he's a players association rep and there was some kind of conflict or something. I don't know. You're first made aware, blah, 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 blah. Nothing so riveting as watching me try to skim through another email. Spokesperson. Anyway, so if that's the case, they're in some sort of conflict, then great. I fully even understand where the frustration comes in. There you go. Again, is it good? Is it nice? Is it wonderful? No, but who freaking cares, right? Get a spine, grow up, and just remember, be as diverse as you want. We want lots of diversity, except that kind. We don't want any, there's no place in the game for any of that kind of stuff, right? And here, now we talk about how he's being removed, right? He's being removed from the Ring of Honor. But let's take a look here, right? Oh, look, Warren Sapp's here. And he's just the first guy I freaking pulled up, okay? If I go through here, I'm sure that you would find other similar things. And you'd find this on all teams. Warren Sapp, legal troubles. He was charged with domestic battery. He's still on here, right? He's still on there. Okay, true. Charges were dropped. True about that. But there's been other people who have been kicked out of the league. I think it was Ray Rice. When the charges were dropped, charges didn't go through with him, right? But he's gone from the league. Now, Warren Sapp later on, February 2015, look at this, soliciting a prostitute and assault. Oh, charges were dismissed, right? But still, soliciting a prostitute and assault. And again, charges dismissed just means generally, I think, it's not worth it for them to proceed. So there you go. But Tampa Ring of Honor, here we go. We got Warren Sapp on there. And again, I think he should be on there. I'm not saying he should be taken off, but I also think Jon Gruden shouldn't be taken off. And last I checked, NFL, O.J. Simpson is still in the Hall of Fame, is he not? Is he not? So you can cut somebody's head off, allegedly, and still be in the NFL Hall of Fame, the highest hallowed hall of the NFL. But if you say somebody's got big Michelin-sized lips, that's it. You're gone. You're wiped from history. So I really think it's interesting and telling about where the priorities then of the league are. So again, I have no love for Jon Gruden, but this is ridiculous. The fact that he is losing his job over this. And again, he's got freaking, it was a 10-year, $100 million contract. This guy's made $30 or $40 million already from that contract. I'm not shedding a tear for the guy. He's rich. He's rich beyond belief. If I was Jon Gruden, I wouldn't have retired. I wouldn't have resigned. I would have made them fire me. I just said I stand by what I did. I apologize for nothing. You're gonna have to take me out. Okay? Because if there's one thing I've learned from cancel culture, it is never apologize for anything. For anything. My parents told me when I was a kid, when you do something wrong, apologize. And all I've learned in life since then, and especially over the last 10 years, is they were wrong. Never, ever apologize. Never give these people an inch. Stand your ground. That's what he should have done. He should have made them fire him because he's loaded. I'm not crying any tears for Jon Gruden, but it's total horse crap that something from 10 years ago in private emails should destroy this guy's career.